husband and wife are heading out of the house. As they're walking down the hallway, they notice a young girl sitting there with a bag beside her. Suddenly, she accidentally bumps into the man's foot. The man quickly says kindly, "Hey there, little girl. Come on, get up. Are you okay?" He reaches out his hand and helps her up. The girl nervously says apologetically, "I'm sorry, sir. I hope I didn't hurt you." The man replies calmly, "I'm fine, but what are you doing outside my door?" The girl quietly answers shyly, "I come looking for someone, but I don't see anybody inside, so I'm too nervous to go in." The man's wife says sarcastically, "You come looking for someone. Look at yourself first. Your clothes are all worn out and torn. Who do you even know here? Nobody here knows you, so you should leave right now." The husband interrupts firmly and says seriously, "Hold on. Why don't we first ask who she's looking for?" Then the man asks gently, "Little sister, who are you here to see?" The girl softly replies nervously, "I come looking for my father. His name is David." The wife looks shocked and says surprisingly, "What? David is your father?" Then she arrogantly adds proudly, "Do you even know who David is?" The husband immediately says firmly, "Honey, don't say anything right now." Then he gently asks politely, "There's only one person in our family named David, and he's my father. Maybe you've made a mistake." The girl nervously says carefully, "Sir, can we check again? Is this the nicest building in the city? And is this the 6th house and the biggest building in town?" The man nods and says calmly, "Yes, little sister, this is the right address." The girl looks surprised and says emotionally, "Then the address is correct. I don't come to the wrong place." The man thinks for a moment and says thoughtfully, "Are you really telling the truth?" Then he asks seriously, "Do you have his phone number? Call him." The girl shyly replies softly, "I have the number, but I don't have a phone." The man immediately says helpfully, "That's okay, use my phone." The girl dials the number and hands the phone back to him. When the man sees the number, he says surprisingly, "This really is my father's number." Then he seriously asks carefully, "Little sister, who are you? Where do you come from?" The girl answers politely, "My name is Sophia, and I come from a small village far away." The man is stunned and says emotionally, "That really is my father's hometown, but when my father marries my mother, he never tells us he has a daughter." The girl sadly replies emotionally, "My mom and dad get divorced a long time ago. I always live with my mother. A few years ago, my father comes to visit me. He tells me I have an older brother." Then she smiles and says happily, "You must be my father's son." The brother quietly replies emotionally, "Yes, we really are brother and sister, but our father passes away 2 years ago." The girl freezes in shock and tearfully says painfully, "What? How does dad suddenly die?" "A few years ago, when he comes to see me, he is completely healthy. He works hard his entire life. What suddenly happens to him?" The older brother comforts her and says gently, "Little sister, don't cry. Illness and death are part of life." Then he asks softly, "But you don't come here just to see dad, do you? Is there something else going on?" The girl looks embarrassed and says quietly, "I'm sorry. I come to borrow some money from dad." The older brother asks curiously, "Why?" The girl quietly replies sadly, "I get accepted into a really good university, but my family can't afford the tuition, so I come to ask dad for help." The girl quickly adds nervously, No, brother, I don't mean anything bad. I only come to ask dad for help. I know he has a new family, so I never want to bother him. I don't know he is no longer alive." Then she cries and says emotionally, "I'll leave right now." The brother looks at his little sister and says warmly, "You really are a smart girl. Your personality is exactly like dad's. Earlier I say I won't lend you money, but now I change my mind." The girl looks confused and asks curiously, "Brother, what do you mean?" The brother smiles and says lovingly, "Dad may no longer be in this world, but we are still brother and sister. How much money do you need for your education?" The girl softly answers honestly, "I need $8,000. That's my tuition for 1 year. Don't worry, I'll pay it back later." The brother becomes emotional and says lovingly, "My silly little sister, tuition isn't the only expense. Are you planning to go the whole year without eating?" Then he pulls out his card and says generously, "There's $80,000 in this account. Take it. It'll help you out." The wife angrily shouts furiously, "What are you doing?" She snatches the card from her husband's hand. Then she says harshly, "Look at her clothes. Look at the way she looks. She could be some kind of scammer, and you're giving her $80,000. What if she never pays it back?" The husband answers firmly and says seriously, "People who live in villages are human beings too, and she's not a scammer. She's my sister." The wife angrily replies loudly, "What sister? You two don't even share the same bloodline. Her father is already dead, so why do you care so much?" The husband angrily responds emotionally, "There are things more important than blood relations. I'm lucky that I find my sister. Even though dad is gone, love will always be more valuable than money." The wife shouts again angrily as she pulls the card back and says stubbornly, "I'm not giving her this money." The husband angrily replies firmly, "I'm giving her this money today, and I'm accepting her as my sister. If you have a problem with that, then we can get divorced." The sister quickly says emotionally, "Brother, please don't fight because of me. I won't take the money." The husband replies disappointedly, "See that? This little girl is more understanding than you are. We've been married for 6 years, and I never think you'll become this selfish." Then the brother turns to his sister and says lovingly, "Little sister, come take the card, and if you ever need more, let me know. Your brother will always stand by your side." The girl cries and says thankfully, "Brother, thank you. I'm going to go tell mom this good news." Then she softly asks worriedly, "Is sister-in-law okay?" The brother quietly replies reassuringly, "Don't worry about her. Come on, let's go buy you some new clothes first."